The title gives it away. WWE 2K24, I quit. I tried and I tried. Played the My Rise, beat the showcase, but the problem is, or let's be more accurate, was that each time that they would put out a patch, whether it be for downloadable content or, more likely, for my faction, this new patch, this new update, this improvement, if you will, always seemed to bust the game, break it, something to where that I just lost my enjoyment of it. Like, whether it be simple things like the layers of a championship that I'm creating won't go in the right place. Well, that's frustrating. Or, subsequently, I'm trying to create an arena, and something that's supposed to be on the floor is now floating in the air. Come on now, game. What are you doing? But after the ad read and after the open rolls, I'm going to talk about what I decided to do after I quit WWE 2K24. Whether it's your first time here or you're a regular here at Mr. Super Oz, I just want to thank you for tuning in to the channel. It exists because I, Oz, from the channel Mr. Super Oz, I wrote a 68-page graphic novel called Everlasting Survivors. Volume 1 is called All Day Long. If you follow the link in the description of this video, you can get yourself hats, shirts, posters, all kinds of fun things. But most importantly, you can get the story itself. And the more people that pick up the story, the greater the chances are that there can be continued adventures with these heroes. If you could, give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, leave a comment, enjoy. I went back, I looked. I said, well, I know that I did a play or don't play video for WWE 2K24. And I said to myself, I was like, when did I do that video? And it was May 17th of 2024. That's when it uploaded, which then made me curious. When was it I did my basic joke of a first impression video for WWE 2K23, and that was March 17th of 2023. The reason I say it was a joke is because in the video, I'm standing and I'm saying, this is my first impression of WWE 2K23. It's addicting, and then I just walk off. While, yes, it was done to be basically a haha moment, it was also true. Like, I was fully engrossed in the game. And so much so that I have now sold my WWE 2K24 Deluxe Edition of the game. I lost about $30, but let's be real. I probably got $30 worth of play and or enjoyment out of it before it started getting absolutely unplayable. Or unplayable's wrong. Like, you could still play, but so many things in so many different ways no longer worked right, so it lost its value of enjoyment to me, at least. And so I was like, man, I don't know if it's wrong or if it's correct that I enjoyed 2K23 more, and so I re-downloaded the game, because that one I didn't buy physically, I bought digitally. And so the day that I decided to give up on 24, I deleted all of it. I was like, save data, all of it, the updates and this and that, all of it go away. And then I downloaded 2K23 to see if I was wrong or if I did enjoy it more. And I have found it more stable, more like it just things work properly. And I know that's such a low bar to jump, but that's really all I want is, and that's why that I didn't buy 2K20. I mean, yes, the reviews of it led to me sticking with 2K19, but that's also why I didn't buy 2K22 is because I was like, oh, I'm happy with 2K19. And because what all I really want is even stability and the ease of play, because had it not been for the fact that they shut down the servers, I think I would have continued to stick with 2K19 forever, because I thought it was so smooth and fun and enjoyable. But they closed down the servers and things got old eventually, and so I got 2K23. I mean, definitely the addition of War Games was the thing that put it over the top for me, because for years in the past, I would need that big selling point, whatever it is. So a lot of times it was a who, because like the year that Brian Pillman was brought into 2K, I'm gonna say 13. I think it was 13 as DLC. Pretty sure it was 2K13, the one with Punk on the cover. That the fact that Punk was getting a retro storyline thing didn't sell me on it or sour me to it. But the minute that I found out Brian Pillman and a bunch of other people, Gangrel, Too Cool, but Brian Pillman specifically, when I found out that he was going to be one of the downloadable characters, I was like, yeah, got me. I'm in. I'm sold. I actually think that he'll return in 2K25 because of Lexus King, Brian Pillman Jr. signing with WWE, working in NXT, and having the estate of his father in and signing a Legends deal. So I do believe that Pillman will return in 2K25, but I have made the conscious decision to go back to my old ways of waiting until the game has been out for either a not insignificant amount of time, let's say half of its lifespan, or maybe just waiting until the complete lifespan of the game has been all the way thought through. That way, when the final update is pushed out, hopefully the game will work properly. And so that means that there won't be a player don't play for WWE 2K25 quickly upon its launch, which, I'm not exactly known for, or attempt to hit things right as they release. As a matter of fact, I feel like it's kind of a pain most of the time if I'm trying to rush something out when it's in theaters or when it's the hot topic. Because, this isn't my exclusive job. It isn't all I do, and it just struggled to do the hot button issue. I try to be very evergreen in content that is good no matter when you're viewing, whether it's, the day that it comes out or a year later. Although that's the funny thing about my 2K23 and now 2K24 videos is, but that's the beauty of the playlist, is like it'll go 2K23, 2K24, and then boom, the 2K24 I quit video. That's the fun thing about the playlist format on YouTube, is it'll play out as the most logical way for the viewer to take in the information. But yeah, as I was saying about my enjoyment of 2K23, and now that I'm back in that game, I have formulated two universes. One that is all but one night real WWE shows. So on Raw, or on Monday is Raw. Tuesday, I brought back Mixed Match Challenge. It is a show exclusive for married couples, because there are a lot in wrestling. So that's a fun thing that I did to Mixed Match Challenge, is made it a married couple show. So Jimmy Uso and Naomi, Eric and Valhalla, Seth and Becky, Charlotte and Andrade, Buddy and Rhea, so forth and so on, like tons of married couples. Wednesday in this universe is Speed. Friday is SmackDown, and Saturday is Main Event. But Main Event in my world is not a Z-level show, a missable show. It is actually, Main Event is the show for main eventers. And by that I mean living legends who are in the game. So Stone Cold, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, The Rock. If you're alive and you're a legend, you're on this show. And there are certain people from the now that I feel like have earned that place on the show. AJ Styles comes to mind. I feel like he's a living main event legend. Roman Reigns is on the show because, again, he hits that upper echelon of talents. But the one show in this universe, in this primary universe that I run that is not a WWE show is WWE Elite. And the reason I have brought this final show that airs on a Thursday, the reason I picked that is it's the day between when would air Dynamite and Rampage, so I just put it straight in the middle, and it's WWE Elite. But the reason the show exists is not just because Edge, Ricochet, Cody Rhodes, and others are in 2K23, but currently, or either have history with AEW or are currently in AEW, but because AEW, and I don't mean this in an insulting way, but has a not insignificant number of former WWE wrestlers that in the game have, built-in entrances, built-in finishers, things that make it easy to make it make sense. And so, bringing in a Jon Moxley or Claudio Castagnoli, it just makes sense to put them on WWE Elite. And so I have a second, not any way whatsoever close to real life universe that I run in 2K23. And the reason that I have the secondary universe is because within the 2K23 game, and let's be real, lots of WWE games over the years, there are a larger than maybe you would expect roster of dead wrestlers. And because of that, I run two shows in the secondary universe. One is on Tuesday, and it's called Titans. Yes, that's a reference to the classic WWF show, Tuesday Night Titans. And then on Saturday, I run a show that at one point was called The Great Beyond, but is now just called Beyond. Because every show has a one-word name. And on both of these shows, so Titans, which airs on Tuesday, is saturated with larger-than-life talents. Yokozuna, Umaga, Vader, Andre the Giant, all the big, meaty men of wrestling's time has gone by. And then Beyond is also deceased wrestlers, but of a more fast-paced nature. So Brian Pillman, once again, Eddie Guerrero. There's just a shocking amount of both in-game and, you can download endlessly from community creations of dead wrestlers. And then the final four shows on the secondary universe. One is Nitro, because there are a lot of, especially repeat characters, like Nash has Nash has 2 or 3 models, Hall has 2 or 3 models, and Hogan has 2 or 3 models. And so with that, a few of them go to, one goes to Main Event, one goes to Nitro. And then there's also Impact, which gets a couple too, because there's just too many of the same people. And I don't like to have the same people show up on the same shows. It's jarring to me. So you have Nitro, Titans, Unwanted, which I think is a very fun show because it's all of the recently released people, like an Elias or a Jinder Mahal, the people that are on roster, but or on the in the game roster, but not on the real life roster. And I just thought that was a fun name for a WWE show, is Unwanted. Then Thursday is Impact, because again, you've got people that just, to me, when I see them on the WWE game, it's just like, oh man, I can remember the Beatdown Clan, so I put Bobby Lashley and MVP over there. Nick Nemeth is currently their top guy, so I put Dolph Ziggler over on that show. Same with Dana Brooke, who's currently Ash by Elegance in Impact. And then last and finally, I run one show on Friday night in the secondary universe, which is my personal living favorite guys. So if you've watched Alpha Entertainment Worldwide, you know that I have an affection for Mark Henry and a love for Jamie Noble. And so these are two of the guys that are on my favorites of all time roster, along with Tatanka, who when I was growing up was one of my go-to guys. I mean, sure, it didn't hurt that he was undefeated for quite some time. You know, winners get fans. But yeah, it's an eclectic roster of people that I have enjoyed. Even when, like, as an adult, I can say, oh, the American males may have been a weird gimmick because they're basically like pseudo male strippers. But I didn't know it at the time. I just thought they were cool. And so with that, I like to put the team of Scotty Riggs and Marcus Alexander Bagwell. Actually, I like to put them in a faction with Scott Flash Norton, the Patriot, and Two Cold Scorpio. Basically, all of Buff Bagwell's throw together teams. I like to put them together as a faction and just imagine what could have been, if you will. But yeah, so like I said early on, I gave up and I quit WWE 2K24. But the fun thing is that I was capable, without spending any money, of going backwards, re-downloading 2K23, and making the most of it, having a good time. And really, that's all video games are, to me, supposed to be about, is having a good time. And that's why, if it works, I have a good time. And if it's busted, well, you're going to eBay, pal. So, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening to me talk about, I don't know, just the way that I like to play these games. Because, like, another big thing that I enjoy about the creation suite, if you will, of the games is conceiving of what is or should be the top title of any given show. Like, in the primary WWE universe, I know there are people in real life who didn't like Raw and SmackDown having the same title designs, like the big logo belt, I mean. But I find it enjoyable in universe mode to have the big logo as the top title because, again, WWE likes promoting their logo as the end-all be-all. But what I did was, each show had a different theme or motif for their championship. For instance, on Raw, the top big logo belt is the television championship, and so it has color bars behind the big logo, and so it gives a little extra personality to the championship. And, you know, similarly on WWE Elite, they use the current era Undisputed Championship because Cody holds it, so it's like, oh, got that golden background to it. So yeah, it gives it that its own personal flavor. But yeah, thanks for listening to me ramble. Let me know in the comments which you prefer of 2K23 and 2K24, and do you plan on picking up 2K25 when it releases?